Hi guys, how's everybody doing out there? Hopefully good. I have talked to you about a situation that it happened for 3 years. I think I have finally gotten rid of this person. They are toxic, I believe psychotic, has symptoms of schizophrenia, and I think I've finally gotten rid of this person. Their phone is disconnected, they're no longer living where they were living, and he would never have allowed his cell phone to be disconnected because that's one of the tools that he uses to suck people in. He also has a symptomology of narcissism as well. The reason why this is so difficult now when it's over, and I've discussed this with a friend of mine, because when you're smack dab in the middle of it, you are in fight or flight mode constantly. So you don't have time to get emotional. You don't have time to feel anything other than fight or flight. So you're always waiting for the next shoe to drop, and because this person had a pattern, every 6 months to every year and a half, I'm going to resurface. Now, ironically, I tried to talk to somebody online about this because he had dealt with a narcissistic person also. I met so many, it's unreal. Oh my gosh, have I met a lot. Anyway, try to talk to this person about it, and they were not interested in hearing it, and they were not interested in talking me through it or anything like that, which is real weird because he had a lot of support when he went through it. Makes me wonder if he's a narcissist also, because you don't have any caring for anyone else besides yourself. It makes me wonder if he was a narcissist and she was a narcissist, and she outsmarted him or outwitted him or whatever, and that's why he was so devastated when it was over. It makes me really wonder about that. Anyway, knew this person for only a short period of time before I saw the symptoms of schizophrenia, and the government's after everybody. Government's after me. Told someone that I used to know, do not let her, meaning me, do not let her use your computer because the FBI is watching her. You know what? I'll tell you what. If the government was watching me, they would be so bored out of their mind that they would probably lose their mind. Mind you, this person is a felon out of the state of Florida. He has been incarcerated in the state of Florida. He has been involved with the drug scene. All of which doesn't necessarily tell you that in the beginning. Well, he was kind of honest about that, but there were other things that he wasn't honest about. Um, he was living in a rundown shack, which I tried to get help through other people to get him out of that, to get him in a nicer place to live, which he had no desire to live in a nicer place. He enjoyed living like a sewer rat. place he was living in should have literally been condemned by the state. Okay. Cocky, arrogant, mouthy, forceful with his opinion, typical narc, forceful, his opinion's the only opinion that matters. Now I'm going to deal with that but so much before I tell you, sayonara. Um, didn't have a car, so I would I tried to help. And that was my biggest fault. I tried to help, and some people are demonic and they don't want your help because they don't have a soul. He's basically a human sponge. I'm going to take everything from everybody who's willing to give. I'm not getting a job. I'm going to take your money, your time, not your advice, because I don't really need your advice. You can go stick your advice somewhere. Um, and I'm going to use you for free taxi rides. I'm going to try to manipulate you financially. Just a human sponge parasite. He did have a roommate, and his guy stopped being his roommate because he got tired of being manipulated for money. When you're roommates with someone, you have to contribute something financially. You cannot rely on your roommate to pay everything. And he was manipulating him financially every single month. So his roommate got tired of that, and he decided, you know what? I'm so done. I'm so done. He had his brother paying his bills while he had a major government contract pending any second now. He'd been telling that lie to his brother for about, I don't even know how many years, and his brother was paying his bills when he didn't have a roommate. So when the roommate moved out, he had to sponge off of his brother even more until he could find another victim to financially manipulate or manipulate for free car rides, taxi rides around town or whatever. But as I said before, when you are smack dab in the middle of it, you don't have time to be emotional. So I was on emotional hiatus for 3 years. Now, don't get me wrong. Uh, every time he pulled another stunt, I would get angry all over again, get stressed out all over again. But so far as the total accumulation of emotions, I wasn't able to do that until I was in the clear, as in all evidence proves to he may be gone. So now I'm dealing with the ramifications. And don't get me wrong, I'm getting better. Um, this person was stalking me at my house for 3 years. Um, you telling them to get lost, go get hit by a bus, it doesn't matter what you say, because they interpret that to mean, oh, good, you never want to see me again? Okay, I'll see you in 6 months. But I'm not going to tell you I'm going to see you in 6 months. I'm just going to keep reappearing over and over and over again, even though I'm not welcome. And I know that I'm not welcome. I don't care that I'm not welcome. I don't care. I'm a narcissist and a psychotic person. I don't care about what you don't like and what's breaking the rules and how many times you call the cops on me, which was every time he waltzed his tail over here. The cops were called. It makes no difference. He doesn't care because his brain doesn't work unless he's manipulating people. Said that he was a pastor. How many pastors do you know stalk people? How many pastors do you know milk people financially? How many pastors do you know talk about you like a dog to people who you were the closest with? Talk about you like a dog, and then when they see you, they're all smiles. Hmm. If he was a pastor, he was a pastor of Satan. Because real pastors who are a man of God or a woman of God, they're about love and kindness and empathy and compassion. They're not about, let me manipulate you for everything you got. And he, like I said, he supposedly had this contract with the government and all this other BS. Um, and I said, well, how could you get a contract with the government when you have a felony background? And this was his exact response. Well, if they don't check, do you hear the energy draining from my body? You should. Males consider women an easy target because if you don't have family or friends in the area or a guy who could snap his neck, he feels like, well, you don't have anybody, so this is open season. I could do what I want, when I want, and as I see fit. That's the way it rolls. And I'm not going to say that women, I mean, I know a woman who dealt with a guy who was also psychotic, and her and her dad were very close, and they were in the same town. And her dad's muscles have muscles. He's a big guy. And that other guy didn't care. He still pushed and pushed and pushed until they finally, I don't remember if she had to get the cops involved. I don't remember, but he was threatening her and her family, and it was just a mess. And it's really sad that, and I have excellent friends, don't get me wrong. I have wonderful friends. I'm very, very blessed to have them. Unlike narcissists, I don't feel that the world owes me anything. So, I have wonderful friends, but you don't want to bombard them with your emotions, even though if they're real friends, they're okay with the emotions because they've had their share of challenges in their life as well. So they're not going to say, oh, you're upset about something? Oh, you know what? My beeper got to go. Real friends don't do that. Even though there's so many selfish people in the world today, and there's so many people that are narcissistic, and there are so many people that have zero compassion, zero empathy, until it happens to them. Now it's devastating. Why is it devastating? You didn't care when it happened to somebody else, did you? Of course not. But now that it happened to you or your mom or your daughter or something like that, it's a problem. So I'm doing better every day. To feel like the safety in your home is being violated, to feel like your physical safety is being violated, to feel like you have to take this person to court because that's the only thing. And they're not going to stop then. I mean, let's just keep it real. They're not going to stop then. If all the police force practically has told him, back off, she doesn't want anything to do with you. And 6 months later, he resurfaces again. And then he gets in trouble with the cops, and then he resurfaces again. I mean, there's nothing that would sink in and make him go, you know what, I'm not wanted there. Maybe I should stop. He's mentally ill. So he doesn't comprehend the English language, and he doesn't care about what's inconvenient for you or how he's violating your rights. When a person's a narc and schizophrenic, the government's after all of us, they're spying on us. He said that there were listening devices on the windows of my home. Yeah, you're right. Whew. He also said at one point that he was in his house. Get ready. He was in his house And he was on his computer, which probably aligned itself because he doesn't have internet at the dump where he lives, so whatever. Somebody took a picture of his house and sent it to him in email and said, "Is this where you live?" At the same time, a car was driving past his home. I, I don't even know what to say to that. Aliens are after us. What else? Oh, oh, no. Whoo, get ready. Get ready. When he was a child, this is coming from him because he's mentally sick, severely ill. When he was a child, this is his story, okay? When he was a child, the government put a tracking device in his tooth, and eventually the tracking device fell out. Now he's a child, okay? But he knew as a child how to scramble the signal of the tracking device. So when it fell out, he put it in a Ziploc bag with a magnet to scramble the signal. And then he hid it under a desk, and a week later it disappeared. I don't even, I just don't even know what to say. I just don't even know what to say. The world is filled with so many people who are so insensitive and so uncaring. And we need to go back to the old school mentality where if you don't understand English, the men in the neighborhood would take you to the woods and have a chit chat with you. We need to get back to those days. Um, you need to be brought to the shed because you just don't comprehend anything else. It's really hard to find friends online. I have several of my friends I did meet online, but it was also when people were more trustworthy and they were not running as much game as they're running now. They weren't as perverted as people are now. You want to see my parts on camera? No, I really don't. Thanks, though. Appreciate it. We were all normal back then, and we're still normal, but we don't do that. Um, Lots of predators online. Predators are everywhere, and the problem with that is people who are not predators get penalized because so many people that are good people have run game on them. So they trust no one. More likely to trust you if you live in the same town, not to say someone can't be psychotic in the same town, because God knows I've dealt with that numerous times. I have a video called When Your Friend Hates You. Yeah, that person has some severe psychotic tendencies and will not do anything about it. Everyone is going to pay because of her childhood. Everyone is going to pay because of her nasty childhood. If you make the mistake of meeting her, God help your soul. Anyway, and this person's the same. This psychotic person is the same. God help you. God help you. If you have the misfortune of meeting this individual. So I'm dealing with it. All of those emotions of being abuse those years has finally come to a grinding halt. And so now when you feel like you could breathe, you just feel like all those emotions that you've been pushing down have come to the surface. They've come rising to the surface. So, um, and this is going to sound real obvious, but easier said than done, but it's something you have to do for your own survival. If you are a man or a woman and you are being stalked or you are being harassed or you are being called on your phone and you have made it crystal clear to this person, I want nothing to do with you ever again. Do you not understand what I am saying to you? I'm done. I never want to see you again. I never want you around my family. I never want you around my friends. I want nothing to do with you ever again. And that person completely, continually disregards that. Get the police involved. Don't get me wrong, some people don't get it, so they're going to continue. And in that case, you're going to have to file for a restraining order or an ex parte. You have to get it, the courts involved. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still not going to stop. Some people don't understand and their brain is broken, so they don't understand when the cops tell them, stop. When the courts tell them, stop. They don't understand. So, in the state of Missouri, an ex parte is good for a year. If they decide to ignore what was said in court and the judge telling them, back up, or else, they can get arrested every 5 minutes if necessary because you don't understand English. Make sure you strengthen your boundaries. And I was at the point where I really didn't want my private business in the street because people would be like, okay, wait a second. How'd you get caught up with a crazy person in the first place? You know what I'm saying? And then everybody knows all your business and you try to help the wrong people and it backfires and blows up in your face. But if this person doesn't understand boundaries, create stronger boundaries and let them get arrested all the time. Who cares? You want to go to jail all the time? Maybe you could go to jail all the time. It's fine. And they'll probably get arrested, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 times in a year, if not more. That's fine too. If jail is so much fun for you that you want to continually violate the ex parte, then you can go to jail as often as necessary. His brother's name is William Bell. If anybody knows of William Bell in the state of Arkansas, and his brother has a first name that rhymes with scandal, make sure you tell William what he's signing up for because I think his brother has rescued him again because he used to pay all his bills. He'll take anybody's help. He'll take anything from anybody, no matter who you are. He has no qualms about using everyone who has a pulse. And if you're nice, they make the mistake of thinking that you're stupid and that you're going to continue to deal with them. Like I said, you show up every 6 months to every year and a half. You would just keep resurfacing. So William, if somebody knows William and you know his brother, tell William what he's signing up for. Because this person is lying pathologically and I don't want his brother to continue to be snowed over. Make him get a damn job. Make him get, go to work, make money, stop mooching off of men, women, babies, and children. Just stop. Enough is enough. You are poison. You are toxic. Stop. He really, to be quite honest with you, he needs to be in a psych ward, and I'm not kidding. I'm dead serious. I mean, medication's just not enough for everybody. Sometimes you need to be in a facility, and they need to make sure you're taking medication every single day. And because his behavior is so erratic, it wouldn't surprise me if he was still doing drugs. And yes, I've known people who were addicted to drugs as well. So that erratic up, down, up, down, up, down, you never know what mood you're going to get when, yeah, that's not a good sign. Of course, you can have that with psychosis and without being a drug addict, but a lot of people with psychosis are drug addicts. So it's like your brain is broken enough. You don't need to be doing drugs. It's just insane. So anyway, be careful. Be smart. I know you don't want your business in the street, but you may be forced to go to court, fill out a bunch of paperwork, and go to court and give this person, I can't really say a wake-up call because going to court wouldn't be, nothing would be a wake-up call for them, but make their life a living hell until they maybe get a clue, and some people unfortunately still don't get a clue, and it's really sad. It's really, really sad that we have such poisonous people in our society they're not being helped in the realm they need to be helped, you know, or they resist being helped, which is also something that mentally ill people do. They don't want medication. They take it as they see fit. They don't want to be in a facility. Well, it shouldn't be up to you anymore when you're talking crazy. You should be in a facility, period. Not jail necessarily, but in a facility, a psych ward, because you're not dealing with a full deck of cards, and you are a danger to yourself, and you're a danger to society. Anyway, so yeah, if any of you know this person, tell William what he's signing up for, because this one over here is lying. I mean, the lies are to be nonstop. And he's probably still telling you after how many years now? Still telling you that he's got a contract with the government and they've got a conference call this Friday and things are about to bust wide open and he's going to make money by the pound. Right. Right. And I used to be the Pope. So tighten your boundaries. You'll know early on that they don't respect your boundaries because they do what they want to do regardless of how it makes you feel. So that's a red flag, big red flag. Not to say that they're psychotic, but narcissism seems to be an epidemic, and the selfishness seems to be an epidemic, and it's really getting scary at this point. It's at the point where when people do care, you're kind of thrown. You're like, you actually care about people? Are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital? I mean, you know, I'm serious. It's really bad. There's a scripture. I should have wrote it down so I could read it to you all. But there's a scripture that says that in the coming times, you know, like in these times, during these times, people will be lovers of selves. You better believe it. And I see evidence of that everywhere. I don't know about you, but I see evidence of that everywhere. Don't quit caring about people. Just give your care to the people who deserve it. If you have a wall up when you meet someone and they're trying to make you put your wall down right away, that's a red flag too. Because if you're trustworthy, you wouldn't force me or try to make me put my wall down. You would understand that I've been through the ringer with other people and you respect that. And if you're a good person, you have nothing to worry about anyway. You know what I'm saying? You have nothing to worry about because, like, okay, well, she doesn't trust me or he doesn't trust me, but I'm a good person, so I'm good. And through time, this person will see that I'm good, so I'm not tripping off the fact that your wall is up. If they're trying to make you get your wall down, that's a red flag. Okay? So, you guys take care, and life is short, and we never know when our time is up. People that are doing a lot of hatred, they don't seem to think. Number one, they don't seem to think. Number two, they don't think about their legacy when they're no longer here. If you raised havoc and you turned everywhere you went, you were poisonous to people. When you die, and I hate to say this, when you die, no one's really going to be that concerned because you weren't a good person when you were here. I don't know about you all, but I don't want that to be my legacy. I die and people are like, okay, and I don't know what I should have for lunch today. I don't want people doing that about me. I like to leave a positive positive energy on the world in some way, shape, or form. I don't know. Some people don't care about that. They are the opposite. They want to be dark and gloomy and be poisonous. They were kind of like a human tsunami, just destroy everything in its path, in their path. I'm going to share a little story with you. It was really awesome. I'm going to end on a good note. I was having a really bad day, and I went to Walmart and I inquired about something with my medication, but I was having a really, really bad day. And after the pharmacist told me what she had to tell me, I just started bawling right then and there. And she looked at me like, you know, I said, I'm sorry, I'm just having a really bad day. And I walked away, and I'm not thrilled that I lost it in public, you know what I'm saying? And I was angrily wiping tears away. And I was walking down this aisle in Walmart. And I'm fair-skinned, well, medium light-skinned, I guess you could say. And so if I've been crying, it's pretty obvious. My eyes are red, my nose looks like Rudolph. So, I mean, it's obvious. You can try to blame it on allergies, but good luck. And I'm sorry, I'm looking out the window. It's hot today, and it's still nice. But anyway, so I'm angrily wiping tears away, and I'm just majorly stressed. This woman is a total stranger. And she said to me, can I pray for you? And I said yes, and then I proceeded to, this is going wrong, and that's going wrong, and it's just like, Niagara Falls of emotion. She's like, okay, but can I pray for you? And I'm like, yes. I don't know this woman from a can of paint. I try not to get emotional. She prayed for me, and she gave me the warmest hug ever. It wasn't a plastic hug, where someone hugs you but they really don't want to, so they're like, yeah, go away. It wasn't like that. It was a warm, loving, kind hug. The world needs a lot more of that and a lot less poison. There was another situation, and I'm going to go there, and I hope they see this video. Myself and a friend had taken a road trip to Minnesota. And I used to work in emergency services and emergency medical. Anyway, so we went to the gas station between where we live and Bloomington. There's very, very, very little of anything so far as shops and gas stations and anything like that. There's very little of that. But when you hit Des Moines, Iowa, you need to go ahead and, use the restroom, get a snack, get a drink, whatever it is that you need to do, because you're not going to see any civilization for a long time, right? So we were in Des Moines. We went ahead and put gas in the car and did everything we had to do and all this. So I'm in the store, and I saw two um, medical people walk in. They work for an ambulance service like I used to. And I said, hey, you guys are with such and such ambulance. Oh, yeah, I used to do that. And da 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 da. And they acted like, what's she talking to us for? Ugh. Attitude from here to Egypt. What is that? And you work with the public and you act like that? Wow. A lot of EMS people do that. They're very unfriendly and they don't like people, but they deal with the public. You figure it out. When you figure it out, tell me, inform me, because I don't get that. Nasty attitudes. Anyway, they don't remember me, I'm sure, but I remember them. Trust me. Anyway, this older lady came in with her adult daughter, and I wasn't going to let the two idiots ruin my day. And the older lady, honey, she had rings on every finger. And I said, look at you, Miss Bling. Let's see your jewelry. Let me see your rings. And I'm just holding her hands and I'm looking at her jewelry. And her daughter said, oh, she has to have her bling, honey. Trust that. She has to have her bling. And so eventually, we parted ways. But before we did, I said, well, you ladies have a good evening. Miss Bling, her mom, gave me the warmest hug ever. I mean, she hugged me like we'd known each other for 20 years. I would never, I will never forget her. I will never forget her. And the world needs a lot more of that. We need to conquer evil with good. We need to destroy evil and give more love. Let's not do the opposite, okay? Because that's not getting us anywhere. It's not getting us anywhere in life, destroying other people. You're not happy after you destroy them. You're still trying to destroy someone else. And my computer was frozen. Sorry about that. Technology, gotta love it. Let's destroy evil with good. Let's do that. Give a compliment to a total stranger. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're going through. And people can have a smiley face and they could be, hi, good morning, it's so good to see you. And they could be shredded to pieces on the inside. You do not know what someone's going through. Give them a compliment. Show some kindness. Show some love to someone. Have caring when someone's reaching out to you. I need someone. I need someone. I feel like I'm drowning. Reach out to them. That's what we need in this world. We don't need more selfishness and more coldness and more attitude and more mental illness. We need love, and we need to combat the evil with good. I'm going to tell you one more story, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to wrap this up. The friend that I used to have before he lost his mind, he has significant issues, and we've lost our friendship as a result because I'm not coped. I mean, I've had to cope. I'm not licensed. I'm not a mental health professional. I cannot do for you. I can only suggest that you get medication and get therapy. I cannot force you to do it at gunpoint. You see what I'm saying? So if you continue to act crazy, you're going to have to do it on your own time. I'm not equipped to deal with that. So before he lost his mind, we were talking about a guy who had attempted to commit suicide on the San Francisco Bridge. This is a true story. If you want to research it, the name of the DVD is called, the name of the DVD is called The Bridge. It's a true story about people who have committed suicide on the bridge. But it's more than that. It is done gracefully. It is done tastefully. You get to know these people when they were alive by talking to their family. You know what I mean? You see their friends and families being interviewed. You get to know them when they're gone, and you get to know the circumstances that led up to this final act. This particular person has mental illness as well, and his father always came down on him like a ton of bricks. You can do anything right, and you're a big loser. You're a failure. Can't you do anything right? You are just never had anything positive to say. So he'd finally come to the point where he's like, I'm done. I'm out of here. I'm totally done. When he was on the bridge, he was crying. How many grown men do you see crying in public? How many people, period, do you see crying in public, especially grown men? They don't want to cry in private, much less in public, which is sad because you're a human being like anyone else. Um, he's crying. This woman on the bridge, who was a tourist, overlooked the fact that he was crying, gave him her camera and said, can you take a picture of me? So it was all about me. Me, 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 me. I know you're crying. I know you're probably devastated, but whatever. That's what I'm talking about. We need to kill that. That lack of concern and that super mega selfishness. We have got to stop that. And you'll be shocked at how good you feel when you do it for other people. It's medicine for your soul and it's medicine for their soul. Now, he jumped. I'm not going to say any more about that. It ended in a positive way. Let's just put it that way. I'm not going to say any more about it in case you decide that you want to go get the video and watch it yourself. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. But I might have said too much about it already, but I'm trying not to. You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to see it. If that's something that you're interested in. But before my friend snapped, he was very kind, warm, and caring, and loving, and very generous. There's nothing he wouldn't do for anyone. And we had discussed, he and I were on that bridge when that guy was going through what he was going through. We would have stopped everything and we would have sat with him and we would have talked with him. It's not a heroic thing. It's a common sense thing. Somebody's devastated. This bridge is notorious for suicides. In case you didn't know, now you know. It's notorious for that. I don't care how long we're there for. I don't care if we're tourists. I don't care what. Somebody is devastated and feels they have no other option. We together would have been a team, and we would have sat him down and we would have said, talk to us. And if he said, well, what do you care? You don't even know me. Because we've all been devastated at some point. Those of us who have emotions, for normal emotions, okay, that we're not robots. All of us have been through emotional agony. So we may not be standing on the San Fran Bridge, getting ready to leap off, but we know what devastation feels like. You don't have to be an expert on mental health to know that he needed someone to care. He had made a comment about the girl with the camera, and I'm not going to say nothing else about that either. Watch it if you decide you want to watch it. But it's just a prime example of, I know you're devastated, but I don't, that has nothing to do with me in my life. My life. It's sad. But we're going to overcome evil with it. We can do it every day. We can work on it every single day. And we can make changes in little tiny baby steps. Babies take baby steps until they learn how to walk like they're a toddler, and as they grow, they get better at walking, whatever, and everything can be done in baby steps. We can't change the world overnight, but we can work on it every single day. Okay? I love you guys. Take care. And show love to someone. Take care. Love you guys. Bye.